leave the door open. I'll leave the door open.
Odds of a Piper ambush?
Oh, she's left. She was in here.
Damn. We need her back.
You can jump up. She jumped up.
Oh.
Who's this?
This could be the intro. This is perfect. This is the unexpected content you could expect on Who's There.
She's smelling my hoodie.
I wonder why.
She's like, it smells like green stuff, like Slitheen.
That's why you need to subscribe to this podcast, because you actually get cat content. Look at that. What did Piper think of Starfury Flux? That's the real question.
It was interesting. And that is all she can say. Because everything else we've got to talk about. Oh, wow, I'm so good at this podcast stuff.
You're so good at it. And that's a perfect point for us to say, let's talk about Starfury Flux here on Who's There Doctor Who podcast. Roll the intro. Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. My name is Troy and this is the hotline that accepts your calls from anywhere in time and space. But as promised, I'm not doing it alone every week because I think we get sick of hearing my voice after a while. No, we got special guests, and this week we have got someone who's been on the podcast a couple of times already. She's the star of DW 2012, the very popular and, without being biased, very, very cool Doctor Who fan film series. She's become my big sister through many Comic Cons and all sorts of adventures filming together. She's also, most importantly, the leader of the Slitheen Appreciation Society that we just made up very recently. I think we're going to be the first two members. What do you mean? Why are you looking at me like that?
What do you mean made up? It's a real thing.
Oh, okay.
We give out figurines.
Okay.
We've got cocktails. I may be the only member at the minute. Annette Badland didn't get the memo. But I call this the Raxicorico Clomberita.
Raxicorico Clomberita. I actually kind of like that. It's
great.
That rolls off the tongue quite well, honestly, surprisingly. That's good.
It's got glitter in it.
Also, I thought I was a member of the society.
Why didn't you show up?
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's the lovely Meg from DW 2012 here as our special guest. Welcome, Meg. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah. This will be explained. I feel like a right weirdo.
Yeah, Apple Podcast listeners. Sorry, I always have to have that joke. So two things. For one thing, normally it's been DW 2012 appearing as a duo, but I'm just sick of Luke. I'm sick of him. He just loves to go on about the fact that he's building the TARDIS, and no one wants to hear it, mate. You know what I mean?
Oh, fair, valid, you know.
No, he is building a TARDIS. It's very, very incredible, and we'll talk about DW 2012 a bit later. But I also thought it'd be quite nice to split it up and have you both on a separate guest. So, spoilers, Luke will be a guest at some point on his own. Because then it just means you get a bit more chance to chat and all that, you know? And you have the cool Flux story. Well, you both do, but we can talk about his cool one later as well, no doubt. But if you are not watching on video, which you should be, why aren't you? Meg is wearing a lovely hoodie right now. Can you please describe to the lovely listeners and viewers what you're wearing?
I'm wearing a bright green hoodie, so green that it hurts your eyes. That's how I'll describe it. And on the front, it's got the beautiful blonde Felfotch Passamere Day Slitheen, aka the one from like all the memes that you see, that the wonderful Annette Badland plays. And I got it signed. It's got a signature from her, from Flux. And that's a whole story in itself. I think she thought I was really strange. But we'll get into that. No, it was interesting. It was fun, yeah.
And that's what we're here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, because this week we are discussing all the events of Starfury Flux, which was a Doctor Who comic convention that happened just over a week ago. Unfortunately, I was on a plane 12 hours after the end of the con, so we just did not have time to record it in time for Tuesday, which I would have loved to. So it's slightly old news, but not quite, because one of its guests that should have been there is still posting about the con on Instagram every day at the minute, so we'll get to that. So it's still somewhat relevant, I think, but we want to talk about our time at the con, what we liked, what we didn't, some constructive criticism, because it's been a hot topic in the fandom. Some things have been very overblown, some criticisms have been very, very valid, but overall, it was a nice time. We want to lead with that, because, you know, we're positive here. We're always the optimists. That's what we try to be anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Please don't bring me down. I don't want to be sad, okay? We got the memo now. We know what we need to do. But yeah, so Flux is, as we said, this Doctor Who Comic Con that both Meg and I went to, as well as Luke, the worst half of DW 2012. See, I can be mean now. You're here. I can be nice to you and mean to him. And then when he comes to the podcast, I'll be nice to him and mean to you. And it'll balance out. Yin and yang.
fair, you know.
Always
Yeah.
appeal to the person that's there and not to the one that isn't, because then, when they come back, it'd be like, actually, no, you're my favourite. You're my favourite. I like you more.
But what if we're both on the podcast? What
I
do
like
you
you
do
both
then?
equally. And actually, if you think about it mathematically, if I praise you and put him down now, and then praise him and put you down later, it balances out.
There's a
Balances out.
balance.
He says,
Ooh.
balancing out with a metal Sonic pen in his hand. Doesn't look quite as smart or clever when I do that, do I? Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about the convention in a detail. Now, just to give you a bit of a brief overview before we get into it, this is a different Comic-Con to the normal kind of ones you might know about, where you go for a day, it closes by the evening, you've got guests, art stalls, talks, all that kind of stuff. This is a full weekend con inside of a hotel. Now, Meg and I both actually have experience with Starfury before. You went to a Doctor Who convention by them, was it 10 years ago, 11 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2013. It was my first ever convention. I think it was that year. It's called Return of the 11th Hour, because they had an 11th Hour one the year before, and it was the return of it. Yeah. It was fun. I mean, it was my first ever convention, so I was like completely starry-eyed, and like
Who was there?
Celebrities in person was just insane. There was Catherine Tate was there. She was like the main guest. I remember I had a gold ticket for that. I won a ticket from a Karen Gillan fan page on Facebook, and then Karen cancelled.
How was it?
Me and my friend, we went dressed as soothsayers, because obviously Karen Gillan was in the episode with the soothsayers with Catherine Tate.
Oh,
we
that's so
went dressed as
good.
them. And then she cancelled, but the con was, it was awesome. Yeah, a lot different to what I had all these ideas of what the con was going to be like, and then when I turned up, I was like, this is not what I remember.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. And then I went more recently to a Star Wars themed one called Invasion in 2024, which also I feel like just between those there's quite a big difference, mainly in attendance. That's the thing I find most interesting, which we'll get to. But yeah, it's held across a weekend in a hotel, so you can stay in the hotel, obviously, if you want to. You have like a Friday night, it's kind of like an opening ceremony. They announce the guests, bring them out on stage, everyone who's there anyway. For the people who pay more money, the gold tickets, as Meg has just mentioned, there's like a fan meet and greet that night. But most of it's the Saturday and the Sunday. You have photos in the morning, then some autograph sessions, and then while it's all going on, talks happening in the main hall with certain guests doing interviews, questions. Really, really cool layout, and at least it was very much for the Star Wars one. I remember posting about it at the time and like singing its praises to no end. This one, as we said, organisation wasn't quite as strong. We will get to that, because I want it to be very much constructive criticism. We're always positive here on this podcast, even when we're more than we probably should be, as the reality war enjoyer here, but we won't go there. So yeah, we'll get through all the positives and the negatives, but as we go along, we also want to have some calls from you guys, and I thought the best topic to have, since I put it out way before Flux happened, and I was on holiday while everyone else was calling in, so I didn't want to try and change the topic to Flux. I thought I'd ask you guys what your favourite Comic-Con memories are, things that are special to you from Doctor Who Comic-Cons, or people you'd like to meet if you've not been to Comic-Cons, or why, anything like that. So we've got quite a few calls in, and I'm sure both of us being Taylor Swift fans, we're going to appreciate the first caller being Ophelia.
Ophelia.
We can just sit here and sing Life of a Showgirl for an hour if you want. I don't think everyone else will appreciate that. But...
I heard you calling. Get it?
Oh, we did,
calling.
yeah, on the speak pipe. Ophelia, what have you got to say about Doctor Who Comic Cons?
I've been very sick since I was a kid, and Doctor Who has always been one of my biggest sources of comfort. The Ninth Doctor is my favorite Doctor, and a few years ago, I got to meet Christopher Eccleston at a convention. I got to tell him how much the show meant to me, and how when I was little, I believed he and Rose would come and whisk me away to an alien hospital that could fix me. He was so unbelievably attentive and kind. He asked me questions about my illness, and he said he understood how a show like Doctor Who could help a kid make sense of their pain. At the end of our chat, he came out from behind the autograph table, and he hugged me for a long time and told me that he believed I would get better. That interaction gave me the strength I needed to keep fighting, and I've since found a treatment that has really improved my quality of life. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and that moment is one of my most treasured memories.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm going to be real. No one's going to have a better call than that today. That's crazy. Oh my god, there was so much that.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's so beautiful. I love that. I picked it mainly because I heard you mention Christopher Eccleston. I thought, right, that'll be a good one to start with.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, that's just... Well, I'm glad that you've managed to find a treatment for one thing. That's wonderful. But yeah, he's such a good guy. I think it's because of like he's such a kind of a down to earth, typical working class northern lad. He's so like kind of personable, with everyone. I remember that when we met him at the Telford Comic Con 2-3 years ago. He was lovely then as well. He's a really, really nice guy. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's lovely. But
I love that.
I thought that would be an appropriate one because...
Yeah.
Well, Christopher Eccleston was meant to be a guest at Flux, was he not, Meg?
I was going to say, he was meant to be there.
He was available. He was free. He wasn't otherwise indisposed. But he hadn't been paid. Yeah, I'm literally quoting the reel because I've seen it about 20 times.
Video is just etched into my brain.
And also his Instagram story every single day. But anyway, let's get to the point.
I love it.
So Flux had... Actually, I need to grab this Smith's Toys bag because I'm going to need it later. And I'm going to need to move the Sonic racing cars that I put on top of it because I bought these recently, but they're not important right now. Just put them over there, get them out of the way. But I thought it'd be handy just to have this poster. We're going to talk about autographs in a minute, but... You can see on my camera now, I might be able to put a picture on later, but there were a lot of Doctor Who guests going to this convention. You can see a lot of them here. Some of them didn't make it onto the poster because Starfury always seem to have like very last-minute guest announcements, like the day of or the day before, and they don't even end up going on the website. They just turn up at the opening ceremony and you're like, who's this guy? Why are you here? And there was a guy who runs Big Finish. His name's Jason something. Can't remember his surname, which is really embarrassing because he was on Who's There about 100 episodes ago. Crispy had an interview with him, and it was included. It was on a whole episode about how Big Finish helped Doctor Who survive the 90s. So I didn't know he was at the con, and when he walked up on stage, I went, and I know it sounds silly, I was like, bald fella that runs Big Finish that isn't Nicholas Briggs. I know his face, and then went, hang on a minute, he was on Who's There? That was genuinely where my brain went.
That's cool.
Which was mad. I don't even think I've mentioned that to Crispy amongst everything else. I'll have to message him and tell him. So he was there. Scott Hancock, who was a producer on All Between the Land and the Sea.
Yeah.
There's another guy, I think Mark someone, I can't remember his full name or what he was doing because I didn't attend a lot of the talks because it was just a busy weekend, whole other thing. But in terms of cast members, we had two from Class, Sophie Hopkins and Fadi El Sayed. Who do they play in Class? Do you remember? I haven't seen Class still. Do you know the character names?
April and Ram.
April and Ram. There you go. We know everything about every spin-off. Thank you so much, Meg. That nearly saved me.
I got scared then. I was like...
Yeah, some embarrassment there. Then there was also some Torchwood guests. Kai Owen playing Reese, Naoka Mori playing Tosh, and Gareth David Lloyd playing Yanto. So 3 Torchwood guests. We also had Gemma Redgrave, Kate Stewart herself.
Oh, she was great.
And we had Annette Badland, as you said, Blomfelfoch Pasmaday Slitheen of Series 1 of Doctor Who fame, and the 3 big guests, as it was supposed to be, 3 doctors, Miss Jodie Whittaker, Mr. Ncuti Gatwa, and Mr. Christopher Eccleston, which for you was kind of a big thing because they were the 3 doctors you had not met.
Yeah, both me and Luke. So, oh God. Yeah, so they were basically the 3 doctors that we haven't met. We haven't met Joe Martin either. But,
right, okay.
So we're working on it. We may be. And then, yeah, so it was such a no-brainer convention to go to. We were like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, totally. 3 we haven't met. Perfect opportunity. Like, yeah, I was so excited to meet Ncuti and Jodie. Oh my God, yeah. And then with Chris as well. Like, obviously he's the first Doctor I ever watched in Doctor Who. So I was like, being able to actually meet him, because now he's going to cons and stuff. I was like, this is going to be the coolest weekend. But I'll be honest, it's just funny how everything turned out. Like with Chris, I don't know. We laugh about it. But,
we do. We laugh because otherwise we cry, and we don't want to cry. That's not nice. But yeah. So as we've kind of teased, the night before the convention started, so the Thursday night, Chris put a video up on his Instagram that basically said what I quoted because, as I said, things ingrained into my brain really easily. He basically was like, I'm free. I can still do the con, but I'm not going because I've not been paid. He's like, please let the convention know. I've tried to talk to them. They haven't said anything back to me. You're entitled to refunds. Get it sorted.
The ironic thing was they released the schedule 15 minutes before he posted this video, and it was like, and the email said, we've had no guest cancellations, thankfully. And I was like, well, you thought.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes later, he's like, I'm not coming, sorry, you'll all get a refund. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was a real panicking moment for real. That's one thing. Starfury is a bit late to share information sometimes, like autograph prices, things like that. That is just a general. I hope they could do a bit better at that. Not really moaning so much as just it would be nice if you were a bit quicker with it. But yeah, the schedule came out the Thursday, as you said, and I was at a gig. My mum wants to see David Byrne from Talking Heads. She was so excited about it. Was sat there in the crowd. The gig's about to start. And then we see this thing pop up on the phone with the schedule. We're like, oh cool. And then I'm like, I think someone pinged me and went, have you seen what Christopher Eccleston said about Flux? And I went, what? Looked at my phone. It's like 5 minutes before the gig started. So we see this and go, oh dear. So like we're thinking, is that going to get resolved?
I just remember I was at home, and then you were I literally had a message from you. I had a message from 2 other people at the same time. They all sent me the video, and then I just look up outside and I see Luke walking from the studio. Obviously, he was working on the TARDIS in, and I was like, he's coming in to tell me. And he was like, you heard the news? I was like, I know. I was like, what's going on? I was like, what? It was just like instant.
Oh no! But yeah, so the organizer Sean, he did put in the Facebook group for Flux. He was like, I'm working on it. We're going to try and get it resolved. Unfortunately, it clearly was not for whatever reason. I will say, I did think it was a bit odd that in the opening ceremony there was absolutely no mention of the situation at all. Because if you didn't follow him on Instagram or didn't look in the Facebook group or anything like that, you would have turned up to the con thinking he'd be there and then seen signs that were like, if you want to exchange Christopher Eccleston photos or autographs, please do. And I'm thinking, there's got to be at least someone who turned up there and went, what's happening with Christopher Eccleston? What's going on?
Because apparently some people didn't get emails as well.
Yeah, I've heard there's an ongoing problem with Starfury events where, I think it's Outlook and Hotmail and Microsoft accounts, emails don't always get through, which was actually happened to me. There was an email summing up the event that I didn't get and my mum did. So that was odd. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so sadly Eccleston did not go, but Jodie and Ncuti did. So let's just talk a little bit about who we met. I mean, I want to save Annette for last, because just for the hoodie, that's fantastic.
I'm itching to talk about it.
Ncuti and Jodie, what were they like for you?
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't felt this excited to meet guests in a while. I think because I've met quite a few people from Doctor Who before, and you meet them more than once, and it's just sort of I'm seeing new people. I've never met Jodie. I've never met Ncuti, and it's just yeah, it was cool. I remember Jodie was. I remember her. She's shorter than I thought. I remember going in for the photo, oh, you're so cute. I was like, oh my god, and she's just really bubbly and lovely and yeah. I remember I walked in because I was wearing my Ace cosplay. I got really awkward. I walked into the photo and she went Ace, and I went thank you, and then she just laughed, and I was like, and afterwards I was like, oh god, that was
no.
so
I think
awkward.
that's a great reply rather than just going yeah, you recognise, just go thank you, the double meaning. I love that. That's great.
But I just went thank you.
It's better than me nearly falling over next to Ncuti.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I did the photo first with Ncuti, and my mum, obviously, because she's, I've mentioned before on the podcast, she's disabled. She has a walking stick, and she went, "You take the walking stick off me, and then I'll take my picture. You can give it back to me." I was like, "That's fine." While I was taking a picture with Ncuti, she'd obviously said to some other staff member, "Can you take the stick?" So I walk over to go and grab it. She goes, "No, it's sorted." So I then start walking backwards out of the way, and while walking backwards, you've seen the Converse I wear, they're really big, platform ones, just lose my footing and stumble.
Oh no!
Somehow save myself. Unlike at Sonic Con, where the same thing happened while I was on stage during a gig and fell into a screen, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I remember telling you about that. I just thank God the live stream had the camera happened to pan away because the singer had gone into the crowd. So there's no video evidence on the stream of it happening. Someone said they've got footage somewhere. I've never seen it. I really would like to. Be funny.
They're holding on to that.
But yeah, I heard. Yeah, I think people who were queuing for the photos, I heard some people go, "Whoa!" And I think Sean was there as well, and he saw it happening and kind of went, but I saved it. It's all good. So trust me, it could have gone worse than you overthinking your Ace comment. Is all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. What did you get Jodie to sign then?
I didn't get an autograph. That was in the photo. That was.
Oh right, okay. So you didn't do an autograph at all for her.
No, it's just Ncuti we got that Luke got the autograph for.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, the first time meeting her was just that really quick photo, and then I was like, it's lovely to meet you. She was like, and you, babe. I was like, ah.
She's so lovely. She is honestly an absolute angel. Definitely worth doing an autograph with her at some point, just because, I mean, it's the only downside of cons, obviously, is photos, it's so quick to get to talk to them, and autographs, you get a little more time.
I do, yeah. We stopped getting autographs just because they're expensive, and
absolutely.
I like having photos with them to be like, look, I'm with the guest, that's so cool. But then you get more time, so I'm so glad we had the Ncuti autograph. It was it's
absolutely.
just cool. Just to spend 30 seconds, but probably less than that, but just cool to actually just see him there existing, being all
Can I still flex my autograph? Is it a safe space? Can I still do it?
It's a safe space.
Look at this, baby. Look at this. Look at this. For the audio listeners, that is a signed 13th Doctor Barbie with 2 hearts on it, which is so sweet. I think she was doing that for quite a few autographs, but yeah, so got that signed. I said to her, I was like, this is going to be a centerpiece. Please go as big as you want in the autograph. She went, oh God, no pressure. I was like, no. I was like, just, don't feel like you need to do it small or anything. I was like, go massive. So it's right across the front of the Barbie for those of you who can't see this right now. But yeah, that's gorgeous. She was fab. But Ncuti, I mean, we both said, he is just, what an angel. I mean, it's no secret on this podcast how much I love that man. But, So what did you get signed? That's probably the best thing to start with here.
So Luke got his. Obviously, he's building his TARDIS. If you haven't heard,
yes, he is.
It's a big thing happening at the minute.
We will get into it later. It's very, very cool. Very cool.
He has the DMAT lever from Ncuti's TARDIS itself. So it's an airplane part, and obviously found the actual piece, like a screen accurate piece, which he acquired it from his friend who was very generous and found it, and and he decided to take it, and it's this big heavy thing we were holding in the queue for like almost 2 hours, and everyone was like, "What the hell has he got in his hands?" And it was just, but yeah. Do you want can I say the story?
Yeah. Do it.
So, we were in the queue, and I was like, and Luke was just like, "How is this going to go? Is he going to recognise it? He's going to be like, why am I getting signed this big, massive plane part thing?" And we get to his table, and he just goes, "Oh my god, a piece of the TARDIS!" And then Luke was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I'm building my own TARDIS," and explained the fan film series really briefly.
Did he tell him the name of it? Did he say DW 2012?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That would have been so funny. And he goes, "I'll check that out. I'll have a look."
Yeah. And he signed, basically Ncuti signed it. And then Luke was like, for old time's sake, do you want one last pull? And then he pulled the lever.
So he was talking about the lever. He wasn't being dirty with him. Good grief. I mean, if you look at the guy and you go, "Do you want one last pull?" That sounds so sorry, everyone. I mean, I'm trying to be careful here, but that did sound a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that man's strong though as well. He was like,
you could have pulled the lever off. Okay, this is a minefield. This is a minefield.
Sad tones, But yeah, how cool is that? So we're gonna have a piece of TARDIS on our TARDIS.
Just wonderful.
Ncuti's, it's quite cool.
Ncuti's signed.
Away and like, Ncuti's touched that. Ncuti's signed it. It's just cool. Yeah. That was great.
He's wonderful. Nice He's so lovely. Honestly, same situation with him for me. I got the 15th Doctor Barbie signed, and I gotta say, like, I love this man to bits, but I had one thing that did not irritate me, that's a bit mean, but annoyed me about his autographs, was that when I met him at London Comic Con, and also got him like at the stage door of Born with Teeth, both times his autographs were really tiny. It was like NG, and then like XV, like 15 Roman numerals, XO, done, and really tiny. So like my mum and I said, like, this time we're going to say to him, please do a big autograph. I think someone must have said something to him at some point anyway, because I saw everyone on the line, he was doing proper big autographs. Same is true for this Barbie.
Nice. I heard people say, like, oh, he's actually doing a proper autograph this time. Because I think at one of the cons, it was that busy, he was just doing initials.
Oh, bless him.
I mean, great.
I mentioned that to him. I was like, I've met you a couple of times before. He's like, oh, really? And I met him at the first London con, which obviously was a lot quicker. He went, oh, God, yeah, that was... And he didn't really say it, but I could kind of hear in his voice that it was like, it was a bit busy, which it just was. It's one of the many reasons I don't love Showmasters. We've been there. I was like, yeah, it was chaotic. And I was like, but, I said the same thing to him and went, this is a big centerpiece, because I want these both together. Where I'm going to put them, I don't know, but they are going to be the centerpieces. Just need to figure out where the center actually is.
He took his time with people. I know his autograph did overrun by a lot, but I was like, that's fine, I don't mind, because you get a bit more time with him to actually chat, which is nice, because a lot of the other autographs were really, really rushed. We found in the day,
we can get to that, but
it was really nice.
He was lovely, and I got to say, I mean, you were able to give in letters to people if you wanted, so I did write him a letter that like explained why I love this Doctor. I've talked about this in the podcast before, but like about the relatability of how like emotional he is, how easily attached he gets to people. Very, very like special thing for me. You've seen that firsthand with me. But like I thought I'd write him a little letter, but I said to him, I was like, given you this letter, but I just want to say how much I love you, Doctor, and how much I relate to it and all that. And you could see he was proper like leaning in, locking into listening to what you had to say, and like proper smiling, everything. He was so into, oh, thank you so much. Honestly, lovely guy. So yeah, just always fan.
You gave him the letter at Flux.
I put it through a PO box because they had like a PO box there, so I didn't hand it to him physically. But I'm assuming he has the letter. I mean, I hope he has.
Oh, that's nice.
And I mentioned DW 2012 in it. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. No, because I said that like my costume for Quantum, like it wasn't intentionally 15-esque, but then realised it was, and I'm like, now in hindsight, that's one of my favourite parts of the costume because it is so similar.
We did post his him signing it on the Instagram page for DW 2012, and then he did see it.
Oh,
so
he liked my mum's post meeting him. Hasn't liked mine, but he's liked my mum's. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Just keep saying to him one each now because he liked my one for Showmasters and he's liked hers for Flux. So he is looking around this stuff still. It's lovely. But Yeah, there were a lot of other guests. We can get into it maybe loosely, but obviously there's one to lead with. But just to explain the idea of how this one works, we said it's a whole weekend event. You have regular tickets and gold tickets. The regular tickets get access to most people for autographs, kind of the, for lack of a better term, lower level guests. I don't like saying that, but it's the best way to describe it in terms of tiering. And then gold ticket holders get a couple of extras. I didn't mention Arthur Darvill was at the con, and Mandip Gill. I didn't actually say them by name. What's wrong with me? They were both at the con as well. I got a photo with Mandip. How did I forget that? Okay, whatever. They were both there, and they were included with the gold pass as extras. The doctors, of course, no ticket covered them. You had to pay for them up front, which is why everyone's been hassling Sean for refunds for Christopher Eccleston for the last week, because, like, give us our money back, which I think he's done all photos and autos and just not the duos with Jodie yet, so
yeah,
hopefully
I've
those
got
get sorted.
my refund,
Okay,
which
cool,
was good.
Cool.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so you get to have an autograph with everyone. For a lot of people, myself included, we didn't get to everyone because some guests were single day only. We could talk about structure later on in the kind of room for improvement thing, but the idea is you get to meet everybody, and we got to meet most people. But because we haven't got time for every single story, because, you know, we'd be here all day, can you please give us the most important one, which is Miss Annette Badland. Blomfelfoch Passamaday Slitheen herself. You're wearing the hoodie with her autograph. Give me the story. What happened?
Oh, God, because the very first thing of the con is the photos, right?
Yes.
So I was standing in this queue. I had my Ace jacket with me, and I was like, I need to put my hoodie on. And I don't know, I felt like a bit of an idiot wearing this.
No.
I know it's the place for it. It's literally a Doctor Who convention, right? You're
You
meant
should wear
to
that in
wear
Tesco,
things like this.
signed. Just go out shopping wearing it. I dare
So
you.
I've had this for a couple of years now. Luke bought it me as like a joke present because of how much I used to bug him. Obviously, we do the fan film series. I used to bug him about doing a Slitheen episode. Just because I was like, you need the challenge to build the costume. How cool it would be just to do the whole slime section at the end, and then he did it. We actually did do it, and it was literally one of my favourite episodes that we've ever done. It was just hilarious, and then we got covered in slime and everything. But yeah, it was great.
You can't do a Slitheen episode and not get covered in slime.
We had to take like volunteers who wanted to do it, and everyone else was like, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So
hasn't it stained? Isn't it your mum's house? Like our outside wall has still got some of like the slime stain on it. Yeah,
because we couldn't get it off. Yeah. But yeah, so Luke bought it me as a present, and I was just a bit too scared to wear it. I wore it once going shopping when you just said wear it to Tesco. I did wear it to Aldi going shopping with Luke, and I was like, oh my god, I just don't look at me. But yeah, no. So then I wore it, and I was holding my Ace jacket like this because I don't know. I just felt really.
You're covering your Slitheen.
Just going straight into photos, and knowing I was meeting Annette, I was so scared meeting her. I think she's gonna think I'm like really weird. And then like went up to the front, and then she was like, "Hi." She went, "Hi," and then went and just pointed it, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hi."
Don't ask questions.
And I quickly said, I was like, "Oh, my husband got it as a joke present, and I had to wear it." And she was like, and she just said like, "Oh, it's great," and then had the photo. But then, yeah, when we had the autographs. Obviously I wanted to get her to sign it. I was trying to think up whether to get it personalised or not, but I'm really glad I did. And then I was just sort of trying to word vomit, explain, be like, look, it's Luke got at me as a joke because we did this fan film series and we did the Slitheen episode, and like I want you to sign it because it's really cool. I really wanted to show her a picture of like the Slitheen that Luke made, but obviously the phone rule, which I'm sure we will discuss. You're not allowed to get your phones out or show anything, which was a shame because and it was quite rushed, so I was just a bit like trying to explain it, but she thought it was hilarious. But,
the amount of times that's happened where like you have things you want to say and then you just don't get any of it out, either because it's rushed or you forget or you lose track of yourself.
Or you just get really like, oh my god.
It surprises me when I say it, but like I genuinely get nervous over conversations with people, like starting conversations. I'm terrible with that. If I know someone well, I'll never shut up. But like at a guest interaction or like meeting someone for the first time, I brick it every time. Like it's a struggle. So yeah, it's one of those things where there's so much kind of artificial pressure that you put on yourself, and then you go like, what do I say? How do I say it? Yeah,
I think that happens all the time. Like with Gemma Redgrave, also with Luke and his friend Jake, and he was like, tell him like you were in Doctor Who and she was in the scene, and I was like, mm-mm. I was like, no.
Did you not tell her no? You should have. You absolutely should have. I was gonna say, I meant to say that. I actually said to her about how what I said on the podcast before, that she's had more to do in the last era than she ever has, and how much I love that and how good she's been. You could tell she kind of like almost like pricked up a bit and went, Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Like, she could really tell. Because it was interesting, because when we met her once before, again, at that Telford con, she was nice, but it did feel like she was maybe a little bit closed off. It might have just been the day, I don't know. And then my mum mentioned an old show she'd been in, which another thing I've talked, I think, to you about the idea that when you mention a show to like a Comic-Con guest that's like separate to what they normally get asked about, they really appreciate it. You were there with me for the infamous story I've talked about on here with Derek Jacobi, where I mentioned Vicious instead of Doctor Who and Good Omens, and it was like a light turned on. He's like, oh, thank you!
You made his day.
Honestly, it was adorable. He's so lovely. But the same thing happened with Gemma Redgrave, where my mum mentioned a show she was in like in the 90s, something called Bramwell, and like that core, and she went, oh, thank you. But here, I don't know whether it's maybe because she's so much more involved in this era and now maybe her character's more appreciated. Like, she just was so in it, and I loved that. She felt properly absorbed in the event, which was so sweet. It was really lovely.
Regarding Gemma Redgrave, so Luke told his friend Jake about like, I saw her at the airport, Birmingham airport, a few years ago, and like her bag stopped to get checked in the security, and so did my mom. And then my mom's in front of her, and she decided to like hold like she tried to take orange juice basically through the security, which they flagged and said you had to chuck it away. Rather than throwing it away, my mom stood there and wanted to drink this entire bottle of orange juice, and Gemma Redgrave was standing behind, really annoyed. And I remember being like, that's Gemma Redgrave. I was like, I can't go and talk to her. I remember just being like, oh my god. I was like, Mom, you just annoyed Gemma Redgrave.
You just held up Kate Lethbridge Stewart.
And when we're in the queue for autograph, Jake was like, I'm going to say something. I'm just going to say orange juice to her. And I was like, don't you dare.
Yeah, that's what I wouldn't know. Did your mum like dispose of the bottle properly, or did she litter it?
No, this was like in front of the security thing when her bag was being checked.
No, when she drunk it, where did she put it? Because, you know,
and then they threw it away for her.
Oh,
and
good.
then like, look, we need to throw it away. She's like, no, I'll drink it.
We didn't want Gemma to be shouting, pick it up, is my point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was where I was going with that. But yeah, so honestly, some really lovely guest interactions. It's one thing I like about that is it's kind of like a little homey environment where everyone's kind of like together. It's like, it's not a major event. Like, in terms of attendance, at the Starfury one I went to in 2024, the Star Wars one, I think 400, 500, 600 people, no more. Here, I think there was something like 12, 1300, because they mentioned there were 950-ish regular ticket holders, and there were definitely a few hundred golds. So yeah, there was definitely a lot more. So it felt a little more packed, but it's still, I think maybe just because it's in a hotel, like a hotel building, there's like, it feels more compact. You're not in an arena. It's not like MCM, which I love, don't get me wrong, but that's in an XL, and it's like, it's gigantic in London. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So there is a nice kind of vibe there. Anyway, speaking of cons, we need more calls. So I want to know why Grace has put a sad face in their username. So something's clearly happened here. But what's your Comic-Con story, Grace?
Hi, Troy. How are you? I just got back from being whacked on the head with a sword, but I'm fine. So my story is actually that I suddenly had to miss a convention that was happening not too far from where I live, which only happens once in a blue moon. But then my friend told me afterwards, after I'd already been like, oh gosh, I couldn't make it, I wish I'd been able to go. She told me that Catherine Tate had been there and had been talking about improv and Doctor Who, and then I lost my mind. So I didn't get to meet her. Sad face emoji. That's it.
Oh, the sad face is valid. Oh.
Yeah, but sword to the head?
I just like how we didn't get the context of that.
No, like, yeah, not at all.
I also got hit on the head with a sword. Let's just like not talk about that, you know?
I don't even... Okay, right. I mean, Catherine Tate does get around at cons. I think I saw something she was doing, like one in Toronto in a couple of months or something. Like, she's going around playing. I think, actually, isn't Grace Canadian or am I crazy? Are you near Toronto, Grace? Go to that one. Catherine Tate's there. Go. If you don't get hit by a sword again. Okay. There is one thing I did want to ask you, actually, in between our things, which was you were able to go to Ncuti's panel. Everyone had, like, talks during the day. The idea was, as I said, when people were doing autographs, other guests would do talks depending on who was scheduled at what time. The idea was you'd be able to enter at least one talk for every guest, because either on one day while they were talking you were doing autographs, the next one those autographs would be for other people because it was split between groups across days, and then you go to talks then. Like, that's the idea, they split it across. Wasn't perfect given that quite a few guests this time were one day only, so it didn't work as smoothly, and as a result, for that, combined with the fact that, again, flight in 12 hours, I just couldn't stay at the con for Ncuti's talk, which started like 5 o'clock. But you did. Can you give me the brief rundown of anything interesting that was shared there? Because I think you had things you wanted to tell me.
So it was the one panel that we really, really wanted to go. So Jodie Mandips and...
Which was great.
Oh my god, they're so funny together.
What a chaotic duo. Oh my god.
It makes me it's made me want to rewatch Flux and like the entire Jodie's era so much. And the same with Shooties. Like you get more of a, like, not that I wasn't a fan of them, but it's like you get to see them as people and how like amazing they are, and they're just it makes you feel like I really love you even more now. Like,
it's like if you didn't already know it, their heart was in it so much, which is lovely. It's nice to see like even in retrospect, they're like, no, it was fantastic.
They had the best time on that show, and it's just nice to hear them like reminisce about it and like how excited they were and stuff.
Especially when they found out about the fact that all the YouTube stuff they filmed is like, you know, bits like playing games. So they were like, no other Doctor Who group's done that. Why were we doing all of these? Do people even watch them? Everyone's like, yeah, they do.
It's because they were great together. Yeah. That's why. It's just funny. Yeah.
I'm not Bradley Walsh. Okay. Anyway, so Shooty's panel. What went down?
My God, he was. Yeah, oh my god, he's such a nice guy. And like he stood up in the panel as well, which was nice because how many seats they were, like being regular tickets and like further on the back. Some of the panels you couldn't really see the guests, and he was like, and he kind of said, I'm going to stand up so I can like see everyone, which was really nice. So you can actually sort of see him.
What a man. What a man.
Yeah, he was asked, I think he was really careful with certain things he worded. And he was, you can tell he like loved his time on the show, and like I think people were trying to get a bit of information out of him, the things that he couldn't really like chat about. There was a few like really nice questions. Like there was but also ones we were like, oh my god. So he was asked about what he thought of Ruby and Belinda's ending of series 2.
Oh no.
And I remember seeing like there's some stuff online about his reactions to it, and what he said. But yeah, he was like, well, Belinda, she became a mum, so yeah. And I think like
oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
He said it, but he was like, I don't know. He because he's such like a big character and he laughs about it. Like, I don't know. It didn't really come across in like a bad way. It was just kind of funny. I don't know. Like online, I've seen people quote it and stuff. I'm like, and people saying that he's not happy with the ending. I was like, of course. Like everyone knows it's not the original ending. What's meant to be. He was just like, yeah, Belinda's a mom, so yeah. And then Ruby's ending. I don't think he really knew what to say, and then the person who asked was like, oh, and she got reunited with her mom, and then everything like that, and then he went, oh yeah, she did Ruby got like a beautiful ending overall, and got her mum back, which was really nice, and I think people were just kind of, I don't know, it's like almost trying to get a little bit of information out of him.
Yeah, we're not far enough removed from the era yet for the secrets to start spewing out, I fear.
Yeah, I feel like there was one. Someone posted on Twitter about like how apparently he like got really awkward in one of the questions and like hit his head with the mic and got really like awkward and looked backstage as if he was worried about what to say. I was like, there was no one backstage telling him what to say.
No.
What he can't say. I think he was just sort of, obviously you can't chat about certain things. What I thought was interesting was someone asked him like if he would have preferred to have been the current Doctor while the series aired. So it was in like, you film series 1, it airs. You film series 2, it airs.
Yeah.
Then you're the Doctor for a few years, and I don't think he ever considered that before. And he was sort of just like, yeah, because it's called kind of all he really said about it. And then he said he was like, yeah, we were about partway through series 2 filming when series 1 came out. But I feel like it was just kind of how he filmed Doctor 2. I don't think he really considered the fact that like the actors are. Your time on the show is like current. I think it's just like a job for him to sort of film the show and then it comes out. Like he was very much used to that. I don't think he ever really thought about
the fact that it should be ongoing. Yeah,
he's just like, oh yeah, I suppose. I'm like, because you're still going to Comic Cons and meeting guests and people you're still relevant and like.
Because it's not the same as like Sex Education, because like people probably like his character a lot in that, but he's not like the centerpiece of it. You know, so he probably doesn't even consider it as much. But yeah, when he's the lead, suddenly, it's. He had
a lot of questions about sex education.
Oh really?
And about there was one about if his character Eric and 15th Doctor would get on, and he was like,
oh yeah,
no, he would be like, he was like, I'd probably kick him out by episode 3.
I think they'd have a laugh. They'd have a bit of a laugh, but yeah, he probably would get sick of Eric after a bit. Yeah, good point.
He just laughed and was like, yeah, no, he'd be kicked out by episode 3. And one of the other questions to do with sex ed was like, how different was him going from playing Eric into Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Playing the Doctor. So like, because we saw basically that rumor saying that like he got told off for dropping the F-bomb online, and he would then and basically he said it in the panel and like said it was true, and he said when I think he was in the 15th Doctor's costume and posted something on Instagram, obviously swearing. And
I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, no, and then he said he got the biggest telling off from Russell he had ever got. And he went, and it was a good thing when he was glad it happened. Because I remember seeing bits online about it, and then we were like, was this actually true? But he sort of confirmed it. He went, it helped him sort of appreciate, like, the gravity of the show and sort of the responsibility of playing the Doctor and how, like, the different fan bases from, like, obviously Sex Education, it's very much for adults, and then Doctor Who's a family show, and sort of seeing the difference and, like, and sort of helping to know that he is the face of the Doctor wherever he's going to be. And he was like, I really appreciate that. He was horrible. It was scary getting told off. But like, I remember him saying that. He got asked about Captain Jack as well.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no.
I remember the audience going, oh. So it was, oh my God. So someone very innocently was like, do you think the 15th Doctor and Captain Jack would be friends? And then the audience were like, and you're going
to hear a pin drop.
And he just, there was this silence, and then he just laughed, and he was like, and then I think because obviously,
Yeah.
And he just laughed, and then he didn't know what to say. And then I'm like, oh yeah, because Captain Jack's really sassy, and so is the 15th Doctor, and then he just went, yeah, I think they'd be friends, and then that was it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he didn't say much more than that, honestly.
Well, yeah, he's really sweet, and like a kid asked about like the Sonic, and he sort of asked him. He responded in a really, really doctory way, which was quite funny. Sort of saying, "Can you tell us what all the buttons mean on the Sonic?" And he just sort of went, "Yes," and that was it, because he literally had no. He was like, yeah, but it was like, I don't know, it was a really doctory way. And then the mom was there with the kid, and was like, can you show us?
I was gonna say it's like something like the Naked Gun or something, where like he really bluntly answers the question but doesn't actually answer. It's like, may I ask why? Go right ahead.
He was just
why?
Like, I definitely know what those mean. And he sort of went, he went down, came off the stage and went over to the kid. Was really cute, and was sort of like, the Rwandan proverb that's on the TARDIS,
sharpness of the tongue defeats the sharpness of the warrior.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, he
almost like I'm a big 15th Doctor fan. Crazy that.
He was really, really sweet. So like, he went down, he showed that on the Sonic, read that out loud, and it was a really beautiful moment. They're like, oh my God, amazing. And then he points to another one and goes, and that button lights up.
Oh, I love him.
And then that was it. Then he went back to the stage, and it was funny. Bless him.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's such a warm character.
I wish I'd been there.
Oh, it was great. It was like a highlight of the weekend, I think, that panel.
It's so good for the fan moments.
Listen to him all day.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, it's so good.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a couple more calls, I think. Let's see what people have got to say. By-Generated Crispy, I want to know what your thoughts on Doctor Who Comic Cons are.
So my first sort of Comic-Con experience, I was in high school, sort of late high school, and I decided to dress up as the Doctor, but I didn't really have much Doctor merch. I certainly didn't have a bow tie or a tweed jacket, but I did have an 11 screwdriver Wii remote. But then I decided to dress up sort of in a tie. I put on some fake glasses, and I didn't have a 10th Doctor Sonic, so I ended up using sort of the cap that you use on a car tire to keep the air in. So that little cap, I had a blue chrome one, and I took apart a pen, and I put it right on top, and I made it look like as close as I could to the 10th Sonic. And I had a great time. People took pictures with me. It was real fun.
Oh, I love that.
I really
love
like that. I really like
It's such a beautiful thing, because you see so many cosplays that are like literally screen accurate, but it is okay to just cobble some stuff together and go for it. That's what I love about cons, because no one judges you for your cosplay. You're just there. Doesn't matter how you look, like your shape, your size, your age, your gender, any of that. That's one thing I love about it. Is just people do what they want, and everyone's just like, yeah, you're cosplaying that person. That's cool. I love it.
Some of the best outfits are like closet cosplays, where you just basically find what's in your cupboard and then you're like, oh my god, it works.
Exactly.
Also,
I did that with Ncuti's leather jacket outfit for Legendary Ruby Sunday. I was like, I have a black leather jacket somewhere that I don't really wear. Let's get it out. Blue jeans. I wear jeans anyway. Sorted. Like, it was a dead easy cosplay to put together. It was lovely.
Yeah, my Ruby cosplay was a classic cosplay. It's just the jumper that was a very lucky vintage find from Luke. But then the rest I just had, which was great.
There you go.
Yeah. Also, 11th Doctor Wii remote, is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, did you not know about that?
No.
So you don't even know about the 11th Doctor Nintendo DS stylus?
What, is it Sonic?
Yeah, it was his Sonic and his little stylus using a DS. I have that somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I know I have it.
I would have thought that would have been the coolest thing to me back then if I had because I had a DS.
That's the main thing I miss about like the old Doctor Who era. Is just that they had merch for everything for often no reason. Yeah. I've got an 11th Doctor Sonic pizza slicer that I've still not taken out the packaging. I've got to use that. But, like,
I want that in my life right now.
I think it's still on Amazon. Have a look.
Is it?
Yeah. Take a peek.
Oh, cool.
While you take a peek, why don't we take one more call? Jenny Duncan, you've got something slightly different to talk about that maybe we should have mentioned earlier in the episode, but whatever, it's still a cool bit of news. What have you got to say?
I've never been able to go to a Comic-Con, but Dalek Master Plan episodes 1 and 3 has been found. And I am so excited about that because Hartnell going up against the Daleks, there's something about it. And in Master Plan, we get glimpses of the 3 episodes that we had before these 2 discoveries. He is phenomenal. And getting to see Hartnell at the top of his game is so important because so many people write him off. He's so good. And I'm so grateful for this. And I can't wait for Easter.
Yeah. As a little bit of news... There we go, played in time. Look at that. I mean, it's still funny that the news thing is just like a supermarket cleanup on aisle 3 type thing, but whatever. But yeah, they have discovered 2 new missing episodes for the first time in I think about 10 years. I thought it'd been more recent than that, but it hasn't. It's been like 10 or 11 years. But yeah, 2 episodes of the Daleks Master Plan, which I think was in 1965, have been discovered. It's a 12-episode story. I think still about 7 episodes are missing, which is like... I don't want to leave the negative part of it. I'm like, I don't know if I'll watch it because I kind of would like to see it all when it's together. That's coming from someone who's barely seen any classic Who as well, so not the most informed thing. But it's
the Daleks,
like
half a plan at this point.
the Daleks plan that's coming together as like I have 12% of a plan. But no, like genuinely, to be frank, it's lovely seeing how excited everyone is over it because it's new William Hartnell content for like 90% of the fandom. Like most people, a lot of an age too young to have seen anything like that, so they get a bit more of him. And of course, there's already memes. Like he pulls like some really funny face in the clips they've released, and I've seen like them being adapted into clearly you don't own an air fryer, or like what as the kids say, mewing or lux maxing. God, I don't understand kids. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Wow, you're so down with the kids.
Why is 6'7" funny, wow. Meg? Why is it funny? Don't do it. Why? It's not. Stop it. But yeah. So it is genuinely lovely to see, and those episodes are going to be airing on iPlayer and I think also BBC One at Easter. So we'll talk about it more when the time comes, but it is very exciting. Now, we do have obviously a bit of discussion I want to do towards the end of the episode because, as we mentioned, while we had a really good time at the con, there were some problems with it, and I think it's important that we talk about them because in the fandom there's been a lot of very strong reaction, and I did actually post on the Who's There Twitter asking people for a bit of feedback. So just reading through a couple of comments here before we get into it. Ori, or a little Ori, who's a 13th Doctor cosplayer, she had a lot of thoughts to say, but she led with a couple of things she's going to go through. Get what they were going for, very no-nonsense, strict military-style precision with things like photos and autographs, but it turned Joy into being terrified of getting anything wrong or asking for help. Most of the responses our group got to questions were sarcastic. Some of the staff are lovely. They replied to a bit more. Not being able to check your phone was not just being able to isn't just about not being able to watch videos to pass the time. It's about checking the schedule so you know where to go next for your photos and autographs and communicating where everyone is. This can be done after, but there were days where we didn't have phones at all and had to cope, but it adds to the anxiety knowing you can't contact people. So that was a big thing, which we'll get into. Another mention from Sophie the Otter about the phone rule making it stressful. There were a lot of comments about that. Nerd Den, friend of both of us, fellow Doctor Who YouTuber. Good event, but definitely confusing in places. I definitely go to the next one, but the Eccleston situation definitely did put a massive damper on the weekend. You could feel it in the atmosphere. Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Whereas Daniel said far more good than bad to report. The guests I met were great. Have to say the Eccleston situation is a major black mark against the event, however. So yeah, there's some things that have popped up, but I will also mention one, because we've got to talk about every side. Sharon at 87 said, I'm a Starfury regular, so I'm familiar with the way that it runs. I think people expected Comic-Con style, but this is a bit more structured in nature. There were big queues for the doctors, but that's not unusual for any con. I got 3 autos done in an hour, including Jodie. That, I think, how you manage that, I don't know. Please do share your tips, because I don't think that was very easily doable for a lot of people.
Interesting.
But yeah, so there is definitely an argument that for this fan base, the Doctor Who fan base, we haven't had a Doctor Who event for Starfury in about as long as you've been. There was a Torchwood one, I think, 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah,
but like, in terms of,
Day, yeah.
to be fair, this was meant to be a Torchwood one as well, which is why it's funny that it was originally called Flux, because it was meant to be designed with 20 years of Torchwood in mind, then evolved into a Doctor Who event, which was the right call either way. But a lot of people haven't been to these events, so I went, having been to one 2 years ago, and kind of knew how it was going to work. I know my mum was a bit confused at times by how the event was working. I think it is definitely so different to a normal convention that if you don't know how it works going in, you're going to feel a bit overwhelmed by it. But even I will agree there were things that were not perfect. The biggest of all, we've got to talk about, as we've said, the no phone rule. So to explain this very briefly, when you're in the halls for queuing for autographs or photographs, you are not allowed to have your phone out at any time, anywhere in the room. As soon as you cross the threshold, if you get your phone out, someone tells you off. And there's actually a threat of being kicked out of the room. Don't know if anyone was kicked out of the room. I don't know about that. I really hope they weren't. But it was a very serious, don't you dare. Now, just to kind of explain perspective before we both get into it, Sean has come on to the Facebook group and explained that the guy who runs the events. But he said that it's apparently set in place because contracts some of the guests stipulate that they don't want photos of them taken during signings or photographs. So he said he is going to look into it, try and relax it for future cons, or see what he can do with it at the very least. So yeah, so there's ongoing stuff there. But can we just talk about how it is just a bit of a silly rule? Can we be blunt here, contract or not, whatever it is? It's just a bit odd.
It is. If it's in the contract they can't take photos, it's not in the contract that you can't use your phone whatsoever for basic things.
Yes.
Unlike at every other convention, sure, the signs up or whatever, you're not allowed to take photos or videos with the guests. Like, I get it, but like, why were they I don't know, they were policing it, like, so strict, and like telling people off before even, like, it's
on
not
first
you were
warning,
told off. Yeah, it's not like you were told off if you were attempting to take a photo. You weren't told about it until you went in. You saw there were signs on the walls on some of the halls, not all of them, that said no phones. But you don't assume that you can't use your phone to check the time. You assume it's just no pictures or videos.
Yeah.
So, like, I was told off on 3 different occasions. So, obviously, like, the first one, I was just checking the time. That's just lifting my phone out of my pocket, like literally, like just lifted it. And
So
it
barely was even away from your pocket.
Yeah, like as soon as they see you, they're like the stewards, and they're there, and they're like literally straight to threaten you, like you can't use your phone. If you see you use your phone, you get your badge clipped, you have a warning, and then if not, you'll get chucked out. And I was like,
whoa,
what?
hang on, they clip your badge?
That's what they said. And I was like, what? You're gonna have a clip took out your badge or something, and they're gonna be like, oh, she's on her first warning. Can't use her
Zoink,
phone.
Scoob, I don't like that.
Like, excuse me.
Oh dear.
It's just really like...
It annoyed me because, like, one thing I will say, one of my biggest things to these cons, as I've already mentioned, is how they handle accessibility. Like, I don't mind waiting in queues for ages. My mum cannot do that physically. So that's always a big judgment point for me. It's why I like Monopoly events, because you just email them and you go, my mum's disabled, here's evidence of a disability, and they go, right, you've got queue priority, talk to someone, they'll take you there. Job done. It's easy. It's simple. Then you have things like Telford, which I think they're trying to come back. They were a horror show. You couldn't even, like, wait around in the area. They were like, no, you get in the queue or you're screwed. And it's like, she can't. You've not got seats. Crazy. Starfury have something somewhere in the middle. The idea is that you come in. I think if you're just disabled on your own, they'll just come and get you when it's the right time, which I guess isn't the most reliable thing. But if you're with someone, a la me with her, they can get in the queue for you, and then when it's time, she comes along and, you know, we both meet together. So she's sat in a chair. Fine, she is seated. But for someone like Ncuti, she was sat on her own on a chair for like 2 hours. So it wasn't great. Some stewards came over and like a couple of other attendees had a chat with her. So I'm grateful to them for doing that. But she was basically on her own. And once or twice I went to text her to check in. And at one point someone came up to me and went, put your phone away. I went, I messaged my mum. She's in the disabled area. They went, go and talk to her then. And I was like,
no.
I thought, don't you dare. Don't you dare. That is not a thing you want to poke at with me. I gave a funny look and a few people looked at me and I was like, I'm not happy about that, but I just moved on. So yeah, it's silly. And you've also got to consider the fact that you were able to take photos right the way through their talks. There was no flash photography allowed past the first 5 minutes, but you could take photos at any point during a talk. During the photographs themselves, there's a sheet up at the back of the room, which they're on the other side of. So you can't even take photos unless you're there anyway. So that's silly.
See them, and in the autograph room it was so busy with people queuing you can't really see the guests.
There's only brief moments where the queue, because it like slaloms like a snake, which is funny with you two because you got in a bit after me for Shooty, so every now and again we just cross paths like that one Umbrella Academy meme.
We'd have a little conversation.
So there were points where the queue would curve around and you have a direct look at him, which was great because you actually got to see him like chatting to people and seeing how chill he was, which is lovely. But yeah, like there's just a few things in there where I'm like, you could easily relax this with very little trouble, like especially in the photo room. So I really hope that they do. Now the thing is, Starfury have a bunch of conventions, not just for Doctor Who ones. So if anyone listening to the podcast goes to another or knows people who are going to any more before the next one for this, which was announced by the way before this one even happened, and apparently half the gold tickets have sold already, madness, before any guests have been announced. But if you do go to an event, please do get in touch, let us know in the comments, or just tag me on Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. Whenever they happen, do let me know, because I'm going to be very intrigued to know if this improves at all before the next event, because I know a lot of people have said they're not going to bother regardless. We'll see.
A lot of the issues could have been avoided if they literally put out information beforehand. If they told you, hey, you can't use your phones in these rooms, or a lot of it was just to do with the attitudes of like the staff and stuff. Because like on one of the occasions, I was literally using it to check the Twitter, which they used to update about the event. And I can't check your own Twitter account with updates on this event.
Scheduling's the other thing. Yeah.
I was like, what?
This one was tough because, as we said, because there were quite a few guests who were single day only. So Jodie and Chris obviously had to pull out. They were both going to be Saturday only. Shooty was going to be Sunday only. As I kind of hinted at earlier, to just try and explain it a bit more clearly, because I genuinely know it's not the easiest thing to understand. I don't mean that in a patronising way. You have all your gold ticket holders, you have your regular ticket holders. Now, at the Invasion event that I went to, the Star Wars one, the way it worked was, you had the guests across both days. On one day, gold ticket holders would meet X people, regular would meet Y. The next day it swapped. Gold would meet Y, regular would meet X. And it was simple. And that means that whenever people were doing different signings, you'd see a panel from the guest on a particular day. So that often they'd have a panel on the Saturday and the Sunday, and based on who you were picked for what group, you'd see one of the talks. It worked really, really smoothly for the Star Wars one. It was really good. It's why I loved it so much. When the biggest headline guests are single day only, which granted is not the convention's fault, so you can't blame them for that too much, but when it's only single day for them, it means, of course, that when you probably would otherwise have been listening to panels, you're jumping into more queues. We barely saw a lot of the panels because of this kind of thing. But also you have the issue that the scheduling was a bit all over the place with the autographs too. It wasn't gold this day. It was gold and regular 1 to 350 do the autographs this day. Regular 351 to 900 the next day. And the only way you knew when it was your time was if you were in the main hall and it came up with a little banner during the talks and like the little screens on the side, or if you follow them on Twitter, their Starfury news account they posted there. Otherwise, you were in the dark. Now, granted, I had it on Twitter notifications. I could keep updated. I knew at all times. But it did create this bit of a slalom effect, because the most interesting thing about it was, the reason my mum was waiting for 2 hours for Shooty's autograph, and I was in the queue for so long, was because we were stalking the page. Like, Meg, Luke, myself and mum were all in like the bar waiting for it to be announced.
We sat for ages, didn't we?
You went to go to a talk, because we were like, this isn't going to happen anytime soon. 10 minutes later, not even, I was like to my mum, I'll go and get the bags out of our hotel room so that we're ready. And as I was about to go, I literally walked up to the lift, saw the ping, and it went, Shooty, 200 to 400 come. We were like 350 in a regular or something. And it was like, they normally be doing it in hundreds. So I was like, we've got time. They'll do 2 to 300, then 3 to 4. No, 2 to 400. And I must have missed it. In the time it took me to tell her that, go to the room and grab our case, because we need to check out, and get in the line, they then called for all Shooty. So when we got in there, like for all 900. So by the time we got there, like we were right at the very back, and I asked someone, he went, no, yeah, literally they called out for everyone almost immediately after everyone dumped in.
Yeah, so they called that out, and then immediately they were like, 400 to 900, everybody for Shooty, quick. And then me and Luke were in the Torchwood panel, like just passing time. I saw it and I was like, go. And then we were like literally right near the back.
You were literally like a couple from the back, I was like...
And we were like, surely, because we were only like badge number 400 and something, so it just confused the hell out of us. But
I'm all for adaptability, but like there is a limit. Like with Jodie, the same thing on the Saturday, they were like, if you're meeting Jodie and not Mandip and Arthur, because they were all signing at the same time on the Saturday, they were like, all of you come now. and we happened to see it much quicker and get straight in, and we were much faster with her. But it's down to chance, and that's not ideal. So, like, it wasn't as smooth there. That definitely could do with tweaking, like, for sure.
I feel like they just see what's going on the day and then make a decision.
Yeah, which they can't do. Got to lock in a bit.
You need a screen to update at least in the convention or something. You need to actually tell people where this information is going to be, because you weren't told
would have been great.
Be on the Twitter.
I don't know how easy that is to set up in a hotel, so that's whatever. But like, you could have people like, I don't even know. There's got to be ways to do it. Basically, is my thinking. And like, it's not our job to solve it.
Yeah, and people were saying they got unlucky with their badge number and missed autographs.
Oh my god!
So I had someone, one of my friends. His autographs weren't called until the Sunday, so it was in batch 2 for all the autographs from the regular guests. And he didn't want to miss Ncuti's panel, so he was called right before Ncuti's panel. So he decided to only get one autograph, which is Gemma Redgrave, and then not meet any of the other guests
who were included with the regular ticket. Panel. So, like, you were meant to meet them all. That was the idea.
You pay for the ticket and you get them all included, and it felt like they almost treat them like the autographs are free. Like, for the regular guests. So, like, they don't really care if you get them or not. Because me and Luke, we didn't meet Sophie from class.
Neither did we, Mum.
On Saturday. Because we didn't want to miss Jodie's panel. We look at the time, like, we need to go. But we asked if we can come back the next day to get it. And they were like, no, once you leave the room, you can't come back.
Yeah.
And then I remember them asking, who have you met? We're like, oh, no, we didn't get Sophie. And they were like,
There's not enough flexibility, especially when you have autograph cards that they tick off to say you got the autograph. So all they have to do is the next day be like, have you had the autograph ready? Show them the card. If it's ticked off, I go, well, get out. Don't you come in. But if you've got a clear blank space, let them in.
It's a shame because obviously some people had a really good experience with it all and some people didn't. And like, the only thing though, I do think with Chris being there, it would have knocked the convention.
I think that would have tipped it into chaos.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
Like, because we went into Jodie's photo a little bit early because Chris cancelled in his Photoshop slot, obviously, but it still overran. And I'm like, if Chris was there, it just would have been absolute chaos. I don't think they really. It was the first time having different guests on different days, sure, but it's just a shame because a lot of people were. Obviously didn't get what they paid for, which obviously you paid to meet the guests and you don't get to meet them. It's just like it's designed that you always miss something, and it's just a shame, Yeah.
A couple of the things I do want to run through. I mean, I don't want to get too negative. This is all genuinely room for improvement, but a couple of things we not mentioned that I think is important. The seating in the main hall for the talks, I think, was incredibly predatory with the pricing. When I went to the Star Wars convention, gold tickets and accessibility were right at the front for seating, fine. But there was, like, free seating kind of around it and towards the back, so, like, you were never that far away. Because of how many more people there were at this event compared to that, they had a big long hall. The first half of the seats were all gold. Not even access. Yeah. If you had gold, you were in there. If you didn't, you were screwed. Access was halfway along and further back, as were all the regulars. Which, A, just felt really bad because you were already quite far back from them, even if you were at the front of that chunk. But B, you literally had the guests, a couple I saw and a couple I heard, the guests would be like, why is the front half of the room almost empty? Because all the gold people were getting autographs for people, and they'd be like, oh, it's all the gold seating. And it's kind of that energy of, like, they couldn't say it because they're staff and they wouldn't say it like this, but it's almost like, oh, this is for all the people who's paid loads of money, but they're also not here. So we're not just letting the people paid for cheaper tickets sit here because they're not able to. And it's like,
apparently some of them made comments about it, but Arthur and Mandip apparently asked people to move forward in their panel.
Rightfully so.
Sunday. Yeah, I think I heard someone say it, obviously, because everyone was in Ncuti's autograph. They were like, why are you so far away? Like, they didn't like... So you remember he said something about it on the Saturday panel when we were in there, and he basically asked everyone to move forward. So whether the convention wanted them to or not, I don't know. They were like, move forward, because all the golds were in Ncuti's autograph, and there was just this massive hall of people. I mean, it's how...
It's like, they should treat it like disabled seats on a train or something, where it's like, gold people should sit here, but if there are clear gaps, let a regular person sit there. And if gold people come in, there's nowhere to sit, move a regular. Like, maybe have some areas as like a sub bench almost, so like it's gold or regular, like a third of the way along, and you can sub them out. Like, that would feel like a good way to do it. And it's like, even if you get regular people going, oh, we've been moved, shame, it's still like, well, they did pay more, this is their area, but like, open the opportunity or something like, I don't know.
There's way too many tickets, I think, because the other convention in like 2013 I went to, it was like half the amount of people there. I know they had big guests this time, but like, I don't know.
And then the last thing from me I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you have anything else, but the other thing I would say is just, there were a lot, it's just a case of con quality. The amount of times in schedules, Facebook posts or anything, that there were typos in names. It's just like I know I don't want it to feel like, because obviously quite a few of these were Sean the organizer himself post them, so make this clear, this is not a character attack on him. I genuinely mean that. It's just that he was posting a lot of them. It's like, please take a bit of extra time and just make sure you don't spell faddy as lady or Mandip as Madip. I was just like, oh, come on, man, please just take that second to check.
It's like stuff like that. It just looks unprofessional, doesn't it? And like, I think things like that you can kind of laugh about. But like, I mean, there was other bits to do with like, even like the paper schedules with like, did you see like with the fan meet? So Sunday's fan meet was duplicated for Saturdays, so people didn't know when Jodie's fan meet was on the Saturday. And apparently there was a bit of confusion of people like wandering about trying to find it or wondering what time.
Yeah, I heard that someone went, like, they were asking for Jodie's fan meet time, and a member of staff got a bit irritated. And then they went, no, because look, she's not on there. Because literally, it was Sunday schedule pasted on Saturday's, which also was weird because Ncuti was only on Sunday. So why on Saturday's schedule did it say Ncuti? Well, because it was copied. So there was things like that.
Got like shouted at apparently one of the stewards by not looking in the paper schedule, even though the schedule was wrong.
It was wrong, and there were clashes. I think there was genuinely, in some points, there were disparities between the email schedule, the paper schedule given on the day, and some schedules in the event. I think there were some things that were inconsistent across all three, which just, I know some of it you have to adapt because A, Chris pulled out, and B, for some reason, again, they announced guests like on the day of the con. Whatever, sure, okay. But like, there was some where it was like, it said that this guy should have been in the panel and wasn't, and then he was in the next one. It was like, just double checking these things. I understand it's a busy event. There's a lot of moving gears to turn. I don't want to understate that, but it is one of the things of just like, I have people like sat next to me at a con being like, at the panel being like, why isn't this guy on the panel? I'm like, because it's just these two. It makes sense. And then he went, look at the schedule, and it like said Big Finish, man. I think it said, or Big plus Big Finish, which was also spelled like the country, whatever, beside the point.
Big Finish was spelled wrong,
Which just felt like, you were insulting a Finnish person, but whatever. It's like, he should be here, and he wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, there's a few critiques, as we said. Like, I always try and be positive on here. This is genuinely just like, these are things that can make this event better. Because for me, I think I was like a 6, without, again, the meme, like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed the experience with the guests, with like the talks that I went to, but there was just so much pressure on the timing of some things, the organisation, and like how things were planned, and that phone rule just really rubbed me up the wrong way, especially this time, and it seems like a lot of people had a very similar experience. So it's genuinely like the fandom is being quite right. So there's some people who are like really in defense of Starfury and like, you guys just don't get how this event works, we love it, blah 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 blah. And then you got others who are like, this is the worst thing ever, I can't believe this can't kill my dog. And it's, as always, it's the internet, it's just, it's extremes,
Yeah, the difference of it was mad. And like, but also, if it's someone's first time at a convention, or first time at Starfury, and they're coming away being like, this is not great, and they've got someone who goes to Starfury all the time basically saying, why do you not think it's great, this is how it's run. It's like, well, it's not their fault, they didn't know how things were ran.
I honestly do wonder.
An email. They just need an email to basically give you useful information, just little things about the phone rule, or the fact you're not given a lanyard, you have to take your own, because we were kind of told to keep it on show.
We were given lanyards at the last one, which is weird. Yeah, we got given a tag, but there was no lanyard to put the tag on. Yeah, that was weird.
And then, just all little stuff like that.
An info guide that, explains it in an email would be a really good way, because then it treats people like it's new, and then the regular people can just ignore it. That's fine. I do wonder how I'd have felt had I not been to an event already in the last couple of years. I really do wonder if I probably would be more negative about it, but I understand it more, so it's kind of a bit more balanced. But that's the thing. I think that's the clear point. It's making it not accessible literally for disabled people. I mean, it needs to be more the accessibility. I think they could just do a better job of just being like, let accessibility people go to the front and get their autographs and go. Loads of cons do that, and it is just an easier way to do it. I think they probably should do that, but whatever, that's beside the point.
They just need to tell people,
But yeah, make things a bit clearer, for sure.
Schedule beforehand. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so there will be another Flux event next year. I just hope that, obviously, as we've said, things improve a little bit. And, there's a few people who said, this is worse than Showmasters. You'll never catch me dead saying that, because we all know how I feel about that con. But much like with Showmasters, I made this point, I think, the time, but when I first met Jodie, I'd said I didn't enjoy the con very much, but I gave the criticism a lot as kind of like this is a chance to improve, this is a chance for things to do better. And then it became clear, event after event after event, it was like, they don't care. About 4 cons later, it was them knocking on Craig Charles's hotel room going, you're letting people down by not coming to the con. Crikey. Oh, man, I couldn't. That was just... that was ridiculous.
This convention felt a bit more like a friendly kind of... a community kind of thing, I suppose. It was very much more fan-based. I know there's loads of issues with, obviously, the whole convention and stuff, which affected people's experiences, but at least it was just it was quite, I don't know, the fact if you had a gold ticket, you get the fan meets to sit with the with the guests and stuff, and they
on the Friday night, yeah, which like.
It's like, you kind of don't know, and you have the parties on the night, which we didn't really attend, but like it's just
not my space.
Very like, I don't know, like a little. It encourages you to meet people, so it's nice.
For people who don't know what Meg's talking about, when you have a gold ticket on the Friday night after the opening ceremony, there's like a meet and greet event, because you can pay for fan meets on the Saturday and Sunday, and it's like 20 people sit around a table with the guests for 20-30 minutes, have a chat, they get some photos included, sure, whatever. On Friday, gold tickets get this thing included where all the gold people go into a room, all the guests that are there on the night, so not any of the doctors because they weren't there the Friday, they all go into the room, and the guests bounce between table every 5 or 6 minutes and just chat to the table for a bit. I did it for the Star Wars one. It was nice, wasn't like a big game changer. And I said to Mum, we'd missed out on gold tickets anyway, but I went, that's the main thing we're missing out on. It's not that deep. Like, it's not that special. So if anyone's thinking they missed out on something there, it's a nice thing. You do get more chance to talk to the guests, and it's included with the ticket. It's great. But the main thing is, I think the photos, the autographs, having that one-on-one time. So I think, like, regular ticket holders, I think, get just as almost as good a time as the gold ones. I don't think it makes a huge difference. But this event made it look more like it, I think, for the seating, if nothing else, in the main hall. That was the big one for me, where I was like, oh, man, like, if you didn't spend double the money on the entry, you're getting really bad seats in the main hall. That was the main thing for me. But I
did like how, like, there was always something going on, though, I guess. Like, there's always a panel going on, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
so, like,
it was
you
lovely.
could sort of go and sit in if you didn't have anything else to do, which you did half the time, but you know what I mean? Or like you can go sit in the restaurant and chill.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're standing in a Comic-Con and being like,
or the bar, as we did.
The bar. It's not like you're standing in like a convention hall and you're like waiting around and, you know, your back's hurting, or like, you know.
In fact, the last thing I would say
with friends, it was nice.
The last thing I would say, actually, one more thing to add on, is I think there should be a few artist stalls in there. Not tons, doesn't need to be like a proper con, but I would like a few Doctor Who based artists, like, because sometimes you get like conventions where people are going for a particular theme and there's loads of stuff. Like, you know, you go to, I went to like an anime con and there were loads of artists who did great art, but a lot of it wasn't anime. Fine, whatever. But like for this, if it's really like intimate and specific, make sure it's artists that only do Doctor Who stuff or are only selling Doctor Who stock. Have 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them. That'd be a nice little extra touch. Because there was a vendor there selling like Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a Star Wars one. I don't know.
Which felt like a strange choice. Like, their art was good, don't get me wrong, but I was like, okay. So that would be cool.
The Big Finish one was good.
I heard lots of good things about that. I didn't get a chance to go to it properly, so I don't really know for sure. But yeah, I heard good stuff there.
Me and Luke chatted to them and sort of showed them the TARDIS and then told them about fan theories and stuff, and yeah, it was cool.
Well, we can talk about TARDIS in a moment. Let's finish.
Trying to get Luke's talent out there.
Well, we're going to do that now, don't worry. We've got a couple more calls I do want to play. There's 3 in particular here, and then we're going to wrap up, because, wow, we've been talking for an hour and a quarter already. This is crazy. Nice. Long podcast episode. Long one, but it's good. It's good. So, there's 3 calls I want to play. First off is from Rory Stock, friend of DW 2012. Well, I know him as well, actually. But he had a really, really cute story about a Comic-Con that I thought would be quite nice to head towards the end of the episode with.
So, I worked at Comic-Con in 2023 as a Dalek operator, doing my usual thing, when this person comes up to me and starts feeling the Dalek. Now, I didn't immediately catch on to this fact, but this person was visually impaired and they had their carer with them. And as soon as I figured that out, you know, I was happy for them to get a feel for the props, to sort of get a picture in their head of what the Dalek looked like. Sadly, my voice at this event was not working, but I did see him again at another event later, and I made sure to turn up the volume, to constantly talk as a Dalek, to really give him a feel of what the Dalek was like. And that is one of the most heartwarming experiences I've ever had at a Comic-Con.
I love that.
Oh, I love that.
There's some great stories people have called in with, and I'm sorry I'm not getting to everyone's, but like, there's some really good stuff. You all really do know how to deliver on these, and I appreciate it a lot. Make sure you call in with the current topic, which I think will still be running, which is your favourite scenes in Doctor Who. It's going to be a big debate for next week. I really want to see what people say there. Have you got a favourite scene from Doctor Who, actually? Sorry, I'm ambushing you with that question, but like...
Favourite scene?
Yeah, for, like a scene or a moment that stands out to you in Doctor Who.
The entirety of Turn Left, because it's the best Doctor Who episode in existence.
Perfectly valid answer. Love it. I have 2 more to play. We're going to interrupt in between the 2 of them, but the next one I'll play from a very funny username, #SupportTroy, because I think there's something really important I want to point out here.
Hi, Troy. Just listened to the first episode of The New Era, and you're doing amazingly. And if I'm honest, I haven't been to a Comic-Con. Always wanted to go. Got no one to come with me, unfortunately. But I'm hopefully going this summer and looking forward to it. So, onward stories to tell.
Thank you very much for being lovely about that. But yeah, I heard him say this. I just thought it was really important to mention, like, don't not go to a con because you're going on your own. I understand, like, it's like, you know, it's one thing saying it, another thing doing it, but I've missed out on like concerts and things recently where I've been like, there's no one to go with, and I always go, I should have just gone on my own. Like Comic Cons, as we said earlier, like with cosplay, it's such a welcoming space anyway. Like whether you go in an outfit or not, like whether you're meeting a guest or not, whether you just want to see what it's like, just go. You never know, you might meet someone in there. You might meet friends there, and it's such a lovely thing.
It's the one place to go if you're going alone. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such an inclusive place, and like sometimes you have the best memories meeting new people or going by yourself, like going to a concert by yourself. You know, and it's you know, I don't know.
It's such a special place, yeah. So please don't let that ever stop you. I'm like, again, as I said, easier said than done. But like, genuinely, like I've met friends at Comic Cons before. Like I've made really good mates. The first time I met you two was at a Comic Con. Granted, I knew of you already, but it was at a Comic Con, so you know.
Yeah, it was.
It's a good little meeting space for people. It's lovely. It is really, really nice. So yeah, definitely do it when you can. Right, we have one more call I want to finish with, but before that, we need a social plug because we keep teasing about DW 2012, and I want to know, you know, what you're up to as well. But, you know, tell the people if they don't already know, if they're not already used to us all waffling on this podcast. Who are you? Who's Luke? What do you all do? Separate, individual, together?
Who's Luke?
Give us everything.
So, I am part of a Doctor Who fan film series called DW 2012. That's the channel name on YouTube. We have Instagram. We have Patreon as well. You know, come join our Patreon, support us.
Once you supported, who's there? Do both.
And that's important, but we're important as well. Yeah, you know,
we're all equally important. I like that. I respect that.
We basically do Doctor Who fan film episodes. We're currently on. We just completed series 5. We're going back and doing some remastered episodes. Luke, who runs it, who's my husband, basically runs the entire thing, and he's currently building a TARDIS set in our studio in the back of our garden.
Right now, while we're recording, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's the cool thing we do, nice little hobby, you know, and come support us. We are doing some cool things, and you can come see Ncuti's lever that was signed on the newest TARDIS build videos, which Luke's doing as well. Yeah, and Troy's also part of DW 2012, as is Rory, who just did the call-in, as of many people who we met over the weekend, and like Nerd Den that we mentioned. I have an Instagram account as well, just meg.h.s. Follow me.
Follow our Instagram. Do it.
I post cool things. I go to the gym. I do cosplay. I post normally TARDIS videos whenever I'm in pictures whenever I'm in there. I'm just living, you know. I do acting stuff every now and then. I'm cool. Follow me.
You are very cool. You are very, very cool. You're very cool. I don't just call someone my big sister just out of nowhere, okay? Like, that has to be earned.
Thanks,
has to be earned.
I want Piper.
Sweet.
I post pictures of Piper.
Oh, yeah, and Piper, the lovely cat that was in the intro. Yeah, so make sure you go and support DW 2012. Yeah, I mean, the last episode they put up at Christmas, I was the Doctor in it. Why they cast me, still questioning it, but plenty of people came up and, like, actually said to me about that, which was lovely, either the podcast or that.
Yeah, we met loads of fans there, and it was really nice, or people we've, like, filmed with before, and it's a nice little reunion event.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
It was nice to have just, like, people come up to us.
Someone called Sean, who not Sean Harry, who runs Starfury, different Sean, who supports our channel. Yeah, and he went and met loads of cast members who was here, and even my friend Steph, who played the therapist in the fan film series, went over and had a photo with her, and she's never been asked for one, and she found it hilarious, but also like the best thing in the world.
Yeah, it's such a lovely thing when people say that.
It was such a really nice thing for him to do, and sort of getting to chat to him was really, really nice. So
yeah, I had callers come up to me like Coraline was the first one that comes to mind. It was absolutely lovely. It was like, oh, you know, it's nice to meet you, and like had a little chat with her. She was lovely. I shouldn't have said a name because now I'm going to be expected to know other names, and I don't. So Coraline, you get a special shout out. There you go. Mainly just because you got a really cool name, and it's the name of a great film. Go watch Coraline. That's the lesson for today's film. Today's episode. Great movie. But yeah, so many people came up and like asked about the podcast, and especially a few of you were like, the new era started really well. Thank you for that. That meant a lot. But yeah, quite a few about DW 2012. It was just so lovely. It was a really, really nice vibe. Yeah. So, thank you. But that won't be the last Doctor Who Comic Con of the year, because I want to finish with one more call from Reese, and it's a good way to wrap up. Reese, bring us home.
I've just booked my first con in Liverpool to meet Arthur de Larvel. I love Rory. I love him. He's a great companion. I'm so excited. I'm a bit disappointed Matt Smith sold out so quickly, but it's my first con. I'm absolutely hyped right now. It's gonna be peak.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the next event, I just had to double check the date, is Saturday the 2nd and Sunday the 3rd of May, Liverpool Comic Con, which, to forewarn you, as I said, very different Starfury compared to normal cons, is the biggest con in Europe. I think recently they've had like 50,000 people go into it across the weekend, so it's busy, I should forewarn you, but it is a great event. They get some really, really big guests, and this event in May, they do it twice a year, May and October, November. This one in May, Matt Smith, Karen Gillan, and Arthur Darvill are all going. The Pond Trio reuniting. Meg, I believe you're meeting them?
I am. Yep, I'm there.
What's happening? What are you getting? Tell everyone.
I'm getting like the triple photo with them all.
Oh,
So basically
beautiful.
Matt, Karen, and Arthur. And it doesn't. It's so expensive, but I'm like, it's worth it.
Yeah,
like
worth
they haven't been at a convention together since 2012, and they're like my favorite
been that
TARDIS
long?
team. Yeah, I've never seen them all together. Oh my god, I cannot wait. I just want to I'm gonna be really scared.
I've met them all individually, but like not as a group now. And like I wasn't gonna meet any of them again, but my mum loves meeting Matt Smith so much. He's lovely to both of us. Don't get me wrong, but like he has a real soft spot for Matt. So she was like, if he does get announced, I'm meeting him again. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to buy anything.
Yeah.
I'll come with you. She was so excited and somehow indirectly persuasive over it. She wasn't trying to convince me, but she was so excited. We both ended up buying a photo and an autograph. I don't really know how that happened, but it did. So yeah, if you are going to Liverpool Comic Con, I believe nearly everything is sold out. If not everything, you might still be able to get an Arthur ticket, I think maybe, for a photo or an auto. The duo and trio and Matt and Karen stuff's all sold out now, unfortunately. But there will be a talk. Probably, I think, the Saturday. I think Matt Smith is... Well, there should be. Actually, let's not guarantee that, because normally with the busy guests, they do sometimes not do it. But there should be.
Question. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, like it's free. They have like 4 mics in the talk hall, and you can literally queue up for them before the talk started. So make sure you do that. There's a little Liverpool Comic Con advice from a local. But yeah, so there should hopefully be a talk if Matt's not been too oversold, or Karen even actually, arguably. But yeah, so if you're going to Liverpool Comic Con in May, Meg and I will both be there. Is Luke coming along as well? I assume.
Yeah. We're
There you
there
go.
just on Saturday, but we shall be there.
Yeah, I'm only doing the Saturday as well at the minute, I think. So yeah, we'll all be there. So if you see us, come say hi and come along to the event. But ladies and gentlemen, that will bring an end to this episode of Who's There. I will say now, it's probably not going to be as heavily edited as the other ones, mainly because it's a nice free-form chat. But also, we're recording this on Sunday night before it goes up on Tuesday morning. And it's an hour and a half long, so don't judge me if I don't edit it very much. But no, absolute joy to have you on, Meg. Thank you very much for chatting through Starfury with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Nice to chat.
As always.
Strange being
As
alone,
always.
without Luke by my side, but...
You can stand on your own 2 feet. You didn't need him when you were in the giggle.
Oh, yeah. I was in the giggle, wasn't I?
You were in the giggle. Yeah. She was in an episode of Doctor Who. And if you don't know that story, cliffhanger, go watch the last time they were on. Was it the last time? Might have been. I don't know. You've been on a few times on this podcast. I lost track.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm following. I'm just still thinking about Liverpool and meeting Karen Gillan. I just can't wait.
You're just completely losing it now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to finish up there. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Who's There. As always, make sure you support the podcast, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, all that stuff. You can support us on Patreon. I would really greatly appreciate that. And then after you support us on Patreon, go and check DW 2012 out, their YouTube, their Patreon, all that stuff. Go and support them as well, because they are Joy's very, very close friends of mine and very lovely people. And even before I was cast, I genuinely felt it's the best Doctor Who fan and film stuff out there, without question. So, if you want fan content, go watch them. Watch my episode if you want and tell me that I'm good in it. I need the self-esteem boost. God, that was egotistical. Anyway, see you all next week, where I will be debating the best scenes in all of Doctor Who. Best moments, best speeches, all that stuff. Let me know what you think. You can call in now. The call-in is still active, and I'll be recording probably a day or so after this goes out. Until then, it is... Call in.
On the megaphone. Call in.
Yes.
Troy's asked you to call in. Yeah.
I need you on every episode to hype this up. This is great. Until then, it's goodbye from Meg.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from me. See you all next week. Alan Z, baby.